What is the why me trap? Have you ever found yourself asking, why me? Why me? Over and over again after whatever it may have been that happened. It could have been, you're just having a bad day. It could be multiple things that happen in one day from something that happened at work. And then you're stuck in traffic. And then you get home and you burn dinner. You're like, oh my gosh, why me? It could be something as catastrophic as a violent trauma. It could be a divorce. It could be a fight with somebody that you love, your child, your spouse, a sibling. And they could have said some really horrible things to you, and you find yourself asking, why me? We are going to be diving into how you can identify and avoid the why me trap today on Soul Wide Open.
Welcome to the Soul Wide Open podcast with your host, author and certified trauma-informed coach Michelle Renee.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. So I was up late last night. I don't know why. I just couldn't sleep. And I was thinking about the next episode. And what kept coming up was my blog that I wrote and talking about the why me trap, something that I've been talking about for a really long time. And I had to really address this why me trap in my own life a long time ago and really figure out how asking myself, why me? How was that keeping me stuck? How was that keeping me from moving in a better direction for my life and a better direction for myself? And what I ended up discovering was that the longer we continue to ask ourselves, why me? Which, by the way, we may never know the answer to that. We may never know why me. And we're certainly not going to know the answer to that as long as that's the only question we keep asking ourselves over and over and over again, because that keeps us chained to the thing that happened to us that we're questioning why me about. As long as we are asking ourselves, why me, we're not asking ourselves the other questions that we should be asking ourselves. And so, a long time ago, when I really began to dive into what was keeping me trapped, and I learned that why me was one of the biggest things that was keeping me trapped, I discovered that changing that question, why me, with what now, was just a complete shift for me. Not only in my mindset, I could feel the shift in my body. I could feel the shift in so many ways when every time I caught myself asking myself why me, I said, no, let's swap that out for what now? What now? If it was a fight with somebody and it was causing me to feel so much anger, and I was just wrapping my brain around, like, oh my gosh, I'm already having a tough day. Why me? Why is this happening now? Why? I would just say, okay, what now? What now could really lead you into then asking yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I move forward in the best possible way now that I have this information, now that I have this experience? In what ways can I help other people? In what ways can I incorporate more gratitude into my life? And for me, surviving not only my childhood and everything that I went through there and surviving the kidnapping, I really started to have this very acute awareness around the fact that I'm still here. I didn't die. I survived for a reason, and what am I going to do with the rest of my life and the time that I have here. And if I continue to ask myself, why me, figuring out what was next in my life and what was purposeful moving forward in my life was never going to happen if I stayed, basically circling the drain with that question, because I feel like that's what it does. Asking what next leads you to, how can I? How can I avoid this situation again? What gifts can I extract from this situation? Replace why and why me with the right kinds of questions. Because in reality, if we're still here, there are absolute gifts, the hidden gems that are within a traumatic experience, that are within a traumatic event that caused a trauma response, the traumatic event that caused the woundedness or the anger or the resentment or the self-doubt, the shame and the guilt. There are not only answers hidden within those, and those answers are always the hidden gems, but we're not going to find those answers unless we're asking ourselves, and even God or the universe or spirit or divine or wherever you land on the spirituality or religious spectrum, be asking God or asking the universe or divine, what is next? What is meant for me? What are the gifts that I am meant to take from this that are going to help me move forward and become the person that I'm meant to become, that are going to help me become the better version of myself, the best version of myself? Some of the biggest gifts and treasures, really, for me, when I began to stop asking myself why and why me, were, what could I teach my daughter coming out of all of these situations that are going to help her grow into a remarkable woman? How can I grow into a remarkable woman out of this experience? The ways that I've discovered that I could grow into a remarkable woman and become an example, even for my daughter, are, I could learn how to have more gratitude for the little things every single day instead of being stressed and not noticing the things that I need to be so, so, so grateful for. When we're so stuck on, and really, I mean, the entire focus is about us. When we're saying, why me, everything's me, we've got to just stop that entire focus on us and turn that lens around and really allow ourselves to look around us. It's really important to look within, but it's so key to be able to turn that lens around and focus on the things that are surrounding us, that are positive, that we need to be really, really grateful for. Some of those things for me were being really grateful for the friends that I had surrounding me, allowing them to say, "Hey, let me just take you to lunch," instead of going, "No, I can't today. I can't get out of bed." Instead of saying no and turning down those opportunities, even when I didn't feel like it, I wanted to just get myself out and be in a place where I could just enjoy a great meal and be really grateful and look around at things that were beautiful and go see the sun shining, or it's almost, it's coming into spring and just seeing the little buds starting to come up on the trees. And I know that sounds, as my one of my best friends would say, it sounds very nature cookie, but I'm kind of nature cookie anyway. So yeah, I mean, just figuring out what those many, many, many little tiny things, and even the big things that you need to focus on being grateful for. When you ask yourself, what now? Sometimes that might lead you to an understanding of needing to limit certain relationships or sometimes even end certain relationships. Instead of why me, how about, how can I make sure that I'm no longer allowing these types of toxic situations to repeat themselves in my life anymore. And really begin to identify things in your life, the people in your life don't work for you anymore. We're evolving. As we survive certain things, as we age, as we hopefully evolve and begin to have a new level of self awareness and self understanding and embrace this new level of self love and self care, caring about ourselves, we change. Certain people and situations no longer fit in our lives anymore. What used to work for us when we were in a specific place of woundedness or pain or shame or guilt or whatever it was, those things don't have a place in our life anymore when we evolve forward and we evolve in a really positive way. And when we get to a place where we can very unapologetically and authentically say, that just doesn't work for me anymore, and it's coming from a place of love, but really putting self love and self care and caring for ourselves and our own well being and our own mental health and our own healing first and foremost, that becomes easier and easier and easier to say over time. But when we're, really ensnared in that trap of why and why me, it's difficult to begin to see through the fog of that and see clearly the opportunities in front of us when we begin to ask ourselves different kinds of questions. So, what questions can you start to ask yourselves today? Replace why and why me with what now? How can I move forward in a positive way? What would healing look like for me? What does the next step towards becoming my best self look like? How would the more evolved, unangry, emotionally intelligent me respond to this? Who am I meant to become because of this in the best possible way? There's so many other questions that you can be asking yourself that are going to lead you in the direction of self awareness, that are going to lead you in the direction of a healed, full, happy life, living with your soul wide open. What are some of the questions that are going to lead you in that direction that you can write down right now? And take a few minutes with each one of those questions and answer those questions for yourself honestly, authentically, because living a healed life and getting unstuck from that why me trap is so, so possible. I know it's possible. I live that life. And that's why I really wanted to come on today and talk to you about how you too could live that life. Please leave comments about this topic. I think it's a really big topic that a lot of people will resonate with. Let me know, what are some of the questions you've started asking yourself after listening to this? And what are the questions you're replacing that why or why me with that are going to lead you in a new direction, that are going to get you unstuck and into a place where you're celebrating who you're becoming every single day because you're now asking yourself the right questions, because you're now ready to turn off that negative self talk. You got to flip that switch. And as Miguel Ruiz Jr. says in his amazing book, The Mastery of Self, you're ready to turn that negative self talk into your ally, into positive self talk. I hope this has been really helpful for you. Please like the show, love it, share it, do all the things, subscribe to it. I'm still really growing this audience. The show is brand new, so it would be really great if you could help me to grow the show, share the show, spread the word, spread the love, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.